Today we are celebrating Father's Day by deep diving into your daddy-induced traumas. I present to you revealing your dad's secrets. I have a few things I very much need to get off my chest. Please put this in a vid. I have a shoplifting problem. I have stolen so much stuff like makeup and clothes, and it's so addictive. You might think I'm a horrible person, which is fine, to be honest. I am. But I don't know how to stop. A damn car always comes into the locker room when we are changing and says he needs to grab something, but he just stares. It makes me so uncomfortable. I brought it up to my friend and she says he does that with her class too. I'm scared to tell anyone else though. I'm not sexually attracted to my dad at all. Please don't judge me. Hold on. I'm supposed to judge you because you're not sexually attracted to your dad? That's a good thing. Also, why do you need to get that off your chest, that you're not sexually attracted to your dad? That tells me that you are sexually attracted to your dad. Are you sexually attracted to your dad? It's okay if you are. I mean, it's not like okay, but like it's okay. It's a safe space where you may be judged and mocked, but it's a safe space. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Anyone. This is an open dialogue. Let me know down below if you are sexually attracted to your dad. Also, report your T-car, please. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So my grandpa just came home and said he had to get a new credit card because it had been paying monthly for something like fans only or only fans. And then my dad said, oh, that should have been to my card. Oh my god, I was dying inside. But I didn't want them to know that I knew what that was, so I just shoved my burger in my face. Oh my god. You know what I would want to know if this happened? I would want to know what OnlyFans pages my dad was subscribed to. Or do I want to know that? Like, you know when you want to know something but you don't want to know it at all? Is there a word for that contradiction? The deep desire for information that you know will disturb you for years? Whatever that is how I would feel. Hey Alex, so I'm Estonia and I live in a small farm near the Russia border. My life is fine, but something is super off with my dad. For about 2 years, ever since I was 13, some Russian guy kept coming to our farm and would only speak to my dad, but I never thought anything of it until one day they got into some massive argument and the Russian guy ended up leaving and my dad started panicking like crazy. After that day, I never saw the Russian guy, but why I'm worried about my dad is that ever since that day, he sweats more and gets extremely paranoid. And one time I was watching a murder documentary and he walked in on me watching it and started screaming at me for watching it, but then he started panicking and sweating like crazy, and every time I mentioned murder to him, he starts panicking. How frequently does the topic of murder ever really come up? Help, I think my dad murdered that Russian guy. What do I do? And I can't report it to the police because there's no evidence to support my theory except for the sweating and the paranoia. Why the hell are you trying to report your dad? He probably killed the Russian guy because, I don't know, maybe to protect you, to protect your assets. I don't fucking know what's going on. Let your dad get away with murder. It's fine. Let him deal with it, okay? All right? Plot twist, I'm involved in the murder. Okay, so I share iCloud with my parents so I can see all of the apps they downloaded. Dude, let's not share iClouds with our parents. That's it. I can't imagine that ever leads to anything good. I have something on my phone where I have to ask for apps before I can get them, and so before I do that, I always try to look them up to see if my parents have them downloaded first. Well, on time, I was looking for Spotify and I went to my dad's and I found a threesome app. He and my mom are still married. Not did I just find one, but multiple dating apps. Also, my dad is homophobic and he literally had a gay dating app. Now I am low-key convinced he has one at one point cheated on my mom, but I'm too scared to tell anyone. Help! I don't know if you should tell your mom or not, but I just have to point out that if you're homophobic, you're probably gay. You say that it's disgusting, but really your dad just wants some, not pussy, but play. If you're homophobic, you're probably just gay. Every time your submissions confirm that sentiment, I just get so excited. I should collect them all and submit it to the National Organization of Science. And it can be taught in school and widely accepted that if you're homophobic, you're probably gay. Maybe that's my purpose here on Earth. Very likely not, though. Very likely not. I saw my dad's nuts hanging out of his shorts the other day because he was laying down on the couch. Please kill me now. That's nuts! I used to watch Vor. It's a fetish where you eat someone whole. When I was in kindergarten, I had no idea what it was, but it enticed me. I used to watch Sonic and Amy Vor, to be specific. I look back on it now and I want to die. LOL. So yeah, die. Like the people who you watch get eaten. What the fuck? Also, no, I am not into Vor. In fact, looking back on it now makes me repulsed and disgusted, but it's probably because it has formed into some type of trauma. Also, I got caught once by my dad and he told me to stop watching it and I didn't really understand why. Oh, probably because you're watching people being eaten alive. No. How come you just shared this information with me? I didn't want to know. And now I know. Oh. Sorry, I'm just mourning what's left of my innocence. I once managed to play with my kitty cat and finish while sitting directly next to my dad on the sofa. I had a blanket over me, but I still have no fucking idea what made me do that. I think I'd rather skin myself than have that memory, to be honest. What the actual fuck was wrong with me? Dude, I don't know. But that's bad. I mean, high up on the rankings of worst things you could do. And like, there's murder, adultery, top 10. Top 10. When I met my biological dad for the first time in 2017, he had a girlfriend and she had 2 sons, and I started developing a crush on the younger one, and well, now we will be official stepbrother and sister next year, and I'm pretty sure he likes me back because we've watched porn together. I've already seen his bits and we enjoy hanging out together. FML. Does that make you feel uneasy? That's how I feel reading shit like this. I laughed at my grandpa's funeral. My dad used to be very aggressive and toxic growing up, so when I saw him cry at his dad's funeral, I giggled. I was like 6. Wow. There is so much to unpack there. 3 sentences, and I feel like it's a carry-on and a checked bag. To see any bit of vulnerability in your dad brought you so much joy that you couldn't help but laugh. Wow, that's wild. So basically I go with my mom on the week and my dad on the weekend. Last weekend I was at his house and I was trying to follow myself on TikTok using my dad's account on his phone. When I went to the search bar, his recent search history on TikTok was sexy cougars. Like, dad, if you want to see that, at least spell cougars right. He probably had one hand down his pants. Let's be real. Also, like, go to Pornhub. Why are you looking that up on TikTok? Maybe he's just looking for like a wholesome crush to get infatuated with. I don't know, but I'm done thinking about your dad looking at cougars. Moving on. When I was younger, I wanted to get pregnant, but I didn't want to have sex. I thought sperm was another name for urine. I was young, okay? What I did was, I would wait until my brother or dad used the bathroom and tell them not to flush because it was an emergency and I really had to go. I didn't. I would stick my finger in the urine and then shove it up my vagina and try to get pregnant that way. It didn't work. I'm a little messed up. Me too, after hearing that secret. Did you get infections from doing that? I mean, like literally scooping your family member's pee out of the toilet and shoving it up your vagina? That just sounds like a health hazard. I can feel my vagina clench up right now. It's like, no, not me too, you know? Like, don't worry, I'm not gonna do that. I really expect the worst from these submissions, so the fact that this was just done by sheer naivety, rather than sexual drive, it's good. It gets you some brownie points. I lived in subsidized housing as a kid, and one of the rules was that no one living there could have a felony. Well, whoopsie, my dad has one. But he was still locked up when we moved in there. So when he gets out, he's living there illegally. Obviously, I didn't know that at the time, being like 7. But maintenance people would come over every now and then to check the furnace or do other stuff. So when they showed up, he'd always make sure to be out of the apartment. Well, one time they just randomly showed up, because I guess that's a thing, and my mom shoved him into a closet to hide until they left. left. Only this was the one time they actually decided to fix something. So he was there for a few hours while they fixed a sink or whatever, and my mom was worrying about him. I was freaking out because of my cats, who were also living with us illegally since we never paid the $300 pet fee, because I didn't have time to clean the house of cat evidence, being a surprise visit and all. Long story short, we were never caught. My dad got rearrested, and we moved out of that apartment without ever paying the pet fee. The part where you just say my dad got rearrested was so casually included in the list of happenings that I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, are you okay with that? Okay, so I'm really embarrassed for this one, but here it goes. So there was this one time when I was 7. Me and my family went on a trip to Turkey. It was amazing. First class flight, beautiful weather, and everything you could ask for on a vacation. We settled down in a hotel and ate dinner and went back to the rooms. Me and my sister shared a room, and my parents' room were connected with ours with a door. We watched some TV, then fell asleep. All of a sudden, I hear banging through the walls and wails from the other side. Me and my sister got up and were curious what was going on. We both agreed to look and peek through the door, which was a bad idea, and saw my mom at the edge of the bed while my dad was fucking her soul out. Me and my sister were absolutely disgusted and traumatized. I'm 15 now and I'm still recovering from that shit. I don't think he was fucking your mom's soul out. I think he was fucking your soul out. I'm sure she was perfectly fine in her body, but I imagine you and your sister kinda disassociated in that moment. Oh man. What happens in Turkey stays in Turkey. Just kidding, it follows you around everywhere you go, I bet. A few years ago, when I was about 16, I woke up to a bunch of texts and phone calls from my stepmother. She had texted me, called me, and Snapchatted me multiple times to get me to wake up so she could tell me to not open the text message I had received from my father. At the time, my stepmother was on business on the West Coast and we lived in Massachusetts. What I gathered from the situation was that my stepmother and my dad were sexting one another while she was away, and in the midst of it all, my father had slipped up and sent a text to me instead of her. The text turned out to be a video of him masturbating quite violently, I might add. And I had to go and delete it from not only my phone, but also my computer, iPad, and Apple Watch, so I couldn't avoid seeing it. I'm still scarred by it. Too bad you couldn't delete it from your memory, my god. The fact that it was quite violently is just like the cherry on top. I'm trying to think, is there a more effective way to get someone to not open a message? Because you tell someone to not do something, they're gonna do it. I think there was no turning back once that was sent. It was your destiny to see your dad violently jerking off. Isn't that wild? That was your destiny. It was written in the stars for you to have the trauma of seeing your dad violently jerk off. When I was younger, around 11, 12 years old, I basically thought that throwing trash was for pussies and losers. Okay, first off, pussies rule. I do not like that as a derogatory term. Also, what do you mean throwing trash? What do you, like litter? So I would walk with my arms motioning back and forth, holding the trash like plastic wraps, paper wraps, etc. in my hand and casually throwing it away on the ground as I kept walking. Okay, so you thought you would be a pussy if you threw something in the garbage. Better to litter. Okay, don't know where you got that idea. My mom and dad caught me a couple times and scolded me for that. My dad even made me pick it up and throw it in the bin. He would talk loudly and scream, so I was ashamed if there were people nearby. I was a dick kid and thought I was too cool to throw the trash in the bin. Hashtag rebel. The story is even funnier now because as a 22-year-old, I recycle and reuse everything now. I'm trying to be zero waste as much as I can, and I recycle everything from aluminum foil to toothpaste tubes. I love character development. Beautiful. I have never felt more sorry for an act that I have committed than this secret. I was around 14 and I think I killed someone. My father and I were on a hike for Father's Day. We had our packs, it was midday, and there had been a few other people on the trail. We were coming up on a viewpoint when my father had to pee. He walked off trail and I went up to see the view. There was a few really big rocks and I thought it would be really funny to watch one of them like hit a tree or roll down the cliff. So I pushed it. It was one of the smaller ones, so I thought it would be fine. But then I saw the backpack a few yards off to the side and heard someone scream. The rock crashed down and I heard nothing else. No one cried for help, so I kicked the backpack down and ran to my dad saying I was not feeling well. He really wanted to see the view. It was pretty nice actually, despite everything. But I insisted that we go back to the car because I was so nauseous. So yeah, Johan Eduardo, I hope your family is doing okay without you. I see that they still have you listed as a missing person. R.I.P. Sorry. I just got a murder confession. Oh my god! How do you know who the person is? And how do you know his name? Now I'm involved? You know, it's kind kind of weird. It's really, what the fuck? One time on Father's Day, my dad was driving to get his morning coffee at Starbucks and he saw a turtle to cross the road, so he got out of the car and moved it to where it was trying to go. Then a few hours later, we saw the same turtle in our backyard. I know, boring story, no incest. That's white people stuff. It really is. Wait, so what? The turtle was so appreciative that your dad helped it out that it showed up to your house to say thank you? Like, what the fuck? How the hell did the turtle get to your house so quickly? You must live close to Starbucks. This is the greatest mystery of all. Not the one before about the guy who got fucking murdered. Jesus. My dad is very religious. Christian, and has always pushed it onto my family. Sadly, that has made him homophobic. One day, I let him use my AirPods and he told me to connect them to his phone while he was in the bathroom. I set them up and decided to test them out, so I went onto YouTube. Out of curiosity, I looked at his watch history and there was a video titled something along the lines of cross-dresser dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood. It wasn't fully watched, so I thought, okay, maybe it was a misclick, but that just doesn't show up randomly. My mom has always hinted at him having a huge secret, and now I think he's gay, and that's why he's been homophobic, because he's in denial. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just very ironic, and now I don't know what to think about it. I don't even have to do this, do I? You all know what comes next. My dad and I were bringing in groceries from the car and there was a lot, so he said we'd have to probably make multiple trips. So I decided to bring all my groceries in one round. So I brought in like 6 heavy bags of mainly his shit, and he brought in maybe 3, and then he had the nerve to tell me to bring in the rest, even though I had already done my fair share in carrying in the majority of them. Anyways, I went back to the car and brought in the last few bags, but I left a container of hummus under his seat and I doubt he'll find it for a few days, and being that where we live is very hot, his car will hopefully smell like mold by then. Sweet justice. Couple things. A, who paid for the food? Probably him. Who shot you out of his dick? Probably him. Whose car do you need to get around? Probably his. You can't shoot his foot off without shooting off yours. I don't even know if that's the expression I'm trying to convey here, but it just seems like your pettiness will probably kick you in the ass as well. And also, now, you guys don't have hummus, and hummus is so good. I'm not really sure why I'm so upset. I just really love hummus. All right, I've had enough. I think we've all had enough. And I also have to call my dad, because he called me while we were filming. Really, seriously, right there. So, bye.